ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, residents of the greatest county on the planet.
Pain. P-A-Y-N-E.
This is the Pastors of Pain radio show podcast on Pete FM, Spotify. I think we even have it on that can with a little string that goes out. Yeah, all sorts of ways you can listen to this awesome podcast and radio show for you and for the world. I'm Father Kerry, the pastor of St. John Catholic Student Center on the corner of Miller and Knobloch, the most awesome corner in the state.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, you could, what was the song about I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona?
Yeah.
I'm standing on a corner in Stillwater, Oklahoma. No, it doesn't. That doesn't work out all that well. I'm here with my amigo.
Can we start the show over?
Oh,
I'm
my
kidding.
gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Wow, just hurt my feelings. Okay, I'm here with my
The charity of the Thanksgiving season emanating through my body.
I think that's tryptophan emanating through your body.
I am going to eat some turkey next week.
Oh, really?
I'm going to Houston.
Where?
I'm going to go see my parents.
Where's Houston?
Houston, Texas, man. Our nation's fourth largest city.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously, fourth largest
Houston?
city. Okay,
Yeah.
what's the largest?
New York,
Okay.
L.A.,
Uh-huh.
Chicago, Houston.
Which one is a bigger footprint? Like square mileage?
Houston,
Okay, are you including like
Houston
Katy,
is-
Texas?
Yeah, no, those are, I mean,
Well, that's not part of Houston. Whoa.
Yes.
How do you know if somebody's from Houston? Give it to me. Okay,
so for all you listeners out there, and there's a few of you in Houston, some people in my family, people I went to high school with, we were having this discussion the other day. If you watch the World Series, which the Astros lost, by the way, which I'm very upset about, and now they've been accused of cheating, which I'm also upset
are you
about.
serious?
There's some evidence coming out that when they won the 2017 World Series, that they did it by stealing signs, using video equipment, and then signaling to the hitter via whistling what pitch was coming, so the hitter would know what pitch was coming, so then they could hit it. Anyway, it's still under investigation. No judgment of my beloved Astros, who might be cheaters.
Well, is that cheating or is that intelligence gathering? Where is the line?
That would be cheating. That's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
You're not allowed to focus a video camera at the catcher's fingers.
Oh, stop! Seriously?
To steal the sign, and then the accusation is via whistling and banging, like so. The guy's at the plate, and if they hear that the one of them was a charge whistle, like if they hear that, it's a changeup.
Okay,
and if they hear just a, it's fastball.
And they would do that for every pitch?
Yep.
Wow.
So the guy standing at the plate, I mean, that's baseball, right?
But how do you know? They throw out like 15 hand signs. There's all these hand signs going on.
Stealing the signs and then relaying it to the players. Anyway, unrelated.
Whoa. Okay. Anyway, back to Houston.
For the Astros, they were there's this guy in Houston, and his name is Jim McIlvaine, and he is commonly known as Mattress Mac.
Okay.
And he owns the most successful furniture store in the United States of America. It's called Gallery Furniture.
Okay.
So you can always tell someone is from Houston because they should be able to tell you. If you're really from Houston and you have watched any television or listened to any radio at any point in your life, you would know the address and phone number of Gallery Furniture.
Whoa, is it like the one on WGN when I was watching the Cubs as a kid? 588-2300 Empire.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you meet someone from Houston, if you really want to know if they're from Houston,
they don't want to. They're lying.
They're
like,
what's your what's the phone number of Gallery Furniture? And they should be able to say, just call Gallery 694-5570. Oh, really? Where's Gallery Furniture located? 6006 I-45 North between Tidwell and Parker.
What?
Gallery Furniture really will save you money. And then he's like wearing a mattress and he jumps up in the air with money. Anyway,
okay, so did we just
I'm going to Houston.
Did we just do an advertisement for them? They should send us some money to run
He's
this.
Catholic too.
What?
Yeah, he's actually a very, very charitable person. After the floods and all that in Houston, he does a lot for the church and just charity in general. A good man. A good man.
The poor.
And he also bet a lot on the World Series.
Oh, it was that guy who lost $4 million, but he also made like 11 because of other.
But then the Astros lost. Anyway, it's all good. But I'm going to Houston, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to celebrate Mass at my home parish a couple times.
What? St. Martha and Mary Lazarus,
St.
Friends
Martha
of
and Mary
Jesus Catholic
Lazarus,
Church.
Friends of Jesus Catholic Church.
I've been there.
And just have a little time with family.
Excellent, dude.
Glory to God. I'm gonna be giving thanks.
Really?
Yeah, for a little rest.
Oh, nice.
Gearing up for Advent.
Ooh.
Sweet sassy. Here comes Advent.
It's December 1st. It's like a couple weeks away.
Yeah. So this will air on the 24th, Christ the King Sunday.
Ooh, Christ the King?
And then, and then Advent begins. The new liturgical year. December 1st begins the new year.
Advent.
If you're a liturgically minded.
How many people are really liturgical?
No,
okay,
no.
I think most
I
people
always make that joke every year. I say Happy New Year on December 1st, and people
I think most people show up at Mass
kick me.
on the first Sunday in Advent, surprised that purple is out. Like, what?
Oh, I think Advent does, catches people. This is Advent? Yeah, I think it does. It does.
Should we do a slow fade from like green? Because Christ the King is white.
Yeah, so we wear green up through the 33rd Sunday of Ordinary Time. And then Christ the King,
should we do like a hybrid white-purple? Like just to ease people in? Or just tell them?
A Wurple?
A Wurple?
No. That's actually one of the things I love about the liturgical colors, and is there's sort of like a stark it surprises you. Like sometimes like you'll come out wearing. Well, it happened on All Souls, November 2nd. So it's during Ordinary Time, in which we wear green because we love the environment. I'm just
That's
kidding.
what somebody said one time. I'm glad Pope Francis loves the
It
environment.
was Pope Benedict. It was Pope Benedict was wearing
it?
green, and he gave like an environmental sort of message, and people were like, the message matched the color. But on All Souls, Father Robert and I wore purple, the purple vestments.
Ooh.
And people were kind of just it catches your attention, like something is different about today. Oh yeah, because we're praying for the dead.
I started wearing black occasionally for different liturgies, especially funerals.
We don't have any black vestments, but you can.
I have two of them if you'd like to. I don't know if they'll fit you.
Why are you? You're mean.
I mean, they're like kid
I had
size.
somebody came up to me after Mass yesterday, and they're a woman who at the parish, and she was listening. I guess we were talking about St. Paul, and I referred to St. Paul as a turd.
No, you didn't.
Well, like in his former life, like he was a turd, And she was like, I just laughed out loud. That was, I can't believe you called St. Paul a turd. And I was like, I mean, not the new St. Paul, the old St. Paul.
Yeah, the Saul of Tarsus.
Yeah, we could probably use words than that, but we can't say them on the radio.
My new favorite line is, if you roll a turd in powdered sugar, it's still a turd.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, enough turd talk.
Goodness. Well, so one thing I wanted to, what I think is maybe perhaps a worthy discussion for today. A lot of times on Christmas and Easter, a lot of people come to church.
Okay.
And this is the Catholic Church and other churches generally, when they don't go on other days. And so we do a big effort. And we should. We do a big effort to like welcome people and invite people and bring your family, bring your friends.
Put signs up front that say Christmas and Easter only Catholics. You get to park up here, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Front door welcome.
But I thought we would, as we enter into Advent, and as a lot of people who maybe don't go to church on a regular basis, and this is also true of a lot of Catholics. So I know there are people listening right now who are Catholic, grew up Catholic, but who, for some reason, do not go to the Catholic Church, and we would like them to.
Yes,
for their own good. We'd like to do just like an episode for them, to talk to them and to invite. So often we sort of assume, or we don't, but to make an explicit invitation to Catholics who have, whatever the word is, fallen away, gotten lukewarm, left, joined something else.
Mad.
We would like to make an explicit invitation and a compelling argument for you to come back.
Oh, okay.
Starting immediately.
welcome back, doo-doo.
Yes,
it's
and
the
it will
dreams
not
of
involve
your-"
Kerry, Father Kerry singing
What? Welcome back, Cotter?
hit songs from the late 70s.
Oh, it was a dream.
Um,
Okay, so one thing, you and I came up with a list, and one of the things I kind of believe that maybe that keeps people away is this kind of culture of separation of science and faith. Yeah, I was
so
reading.
you're saying people don't come to church because they're having there's sort of a disconnect in their mind between what science can prove and what faith.
Or you go back in history or something like that. Like we you know what, we probably need to do a little show on Christmas, because sometimes you hear that line that's like, Christmas is just a pagan holiday turned into a Christian religion.
Yeah.
And okay, well, we could talk about that. Or even like I was reading Richard Dawkins the other day. It's called like Big Questions of something or other.
Richard Dawkins, who's a atheist.
Who is an atheist.
Yeah.
And so I'm
good
here.
For you for reading the atheist.
So I'm reading it. It is, because you get to think with the mind of somebody else, and I think that's one of the greatest tragedies of the like lack of exploration of knowledge, and how to incorporate that in your faith. Because now I get to learn a lot about what Richard Dawkins is talking about. I think there's that separation between like, oh well, we can't be religious and we can't be scientific. Or we can't believe in science and we can't believe in Jesus. The two are completely separated. And that, you know what? I found out over the years
that a lot of people believe
that's not
that.
true.
A lot of people believe that. I mean, so they must have some compelling reason to believe that.
I'm not sure they have a compelling reason, because what we do is, kind of in our modern times, we take our information from social media. And so whatever social media, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter or Pinterest kind of tell us, that's our news. And what did the bishop say the other day? The news media is to keep your hair on fire.
Their job is to set your hair on fire.
To set your hair on fire. And so I think for a lot of Catholics, including myself, is like a deep exploration of science, to bring those two together. Like, you can read Father Lamach, who's the physicist who wrote this understanding on Big Bang. And he had to prove to Einstein that it was true.
Yeah.
And Einstein was like, this is the best.
Well, and I think sometimes people lump. So the Catholic Church has generally speaking, we've had a good relationship with science.
Forever.
We Gregor Mendel was a priest, the founder of modern genetics, the Big Bang Theory. I mean, there's a lot of like very prominent, and some of them were priests even.
Yeah.
Who were scientists. But then I think where Richard Dawkins and others, they sort of lump Catholics in with other Christians who don't have such a positive view of science. I mean, there's a Vatican observatory.
Albert the Great discovered arsenic.
Yeah. Saint Albert the Great, patron saint of scientists.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we get sort of all religious people sort of get lumped in together, whereas we were saying like maybe like Catholics have a different relationship with science than some other Christian denominations.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't there's not enough out there to, I think, draw the Magus Center. The Magus Center, Father Robert Spitzer.
Yeah.
If you want to study science and physics and astronomy, boom, go to him. Okay. Tell me.
So some people have walked away from the church or are lukewarm on the church because they don't think we have a good relationship with science. And I would urge you to dive deep on that one, because we do. The Catholic Church and science get along. We believe in faith and reason.
Duke et altum. Faith and reason, the two wings that lift us up to heaven.
Put two together. Okay. Some people are not Catholic anymore. Actually, is that true?
Well, they're baptized Catholics, so they're forever indelible mark on their soul.
Forever Catholics.
Yeah,
yeah. I think a lot of people so if somebody says like, no, I'm not Catholic anymore,
you're like, well, you are a baptized Catholic.
We would say that you are,
just not practicing,
but not practicing,
not living out the Catholic faith,
precepts of the church. Okay, so some people are angry at the church.
And rightfully so. There's some reasons, some good reasons why.
Yeah, what are some good reasons to be angry at
the pre-sexual abuse
Sexual
crisis,
yes.
some of the bishops.
How we've handled that.
Yeah.
Some people have been that's not their issue. Their issue is they were treated badly in the church by
other church members,
by a priest. The priest was mean to them. They wanted something from the church, and the church was not able to provide it, or provide it according to how they wanted it.
Yeah, there was this nun. This guy he says, well, I don't go to mass anymore because these nuns used to whoop my hands with rulers. And I looked at his wife. I said, you know why young boys got their hands whooped by nuns with rulers? Because they were just crazy and would just do everything and do outbursts and stuff like that.
The nuns were crazy, or
no, the young boys were. The young boys, they would just go like wild in class.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yeah, that's pretty much right. I was like, I had nuns too.
So I think that there's some people there's hypocrisy in the church,
right?
And there is,
right.
And there is, and that's something Pope Francis talks about a lot and calls out, and we try to root out. And so I think what I would say to those individuals, yes. So the church has messed up on a variety of fronts. Maybe somebody in the church did not treat you well. But I would urge you, especially if you're here in Stillwater, is give us another chance, and let us love you, and ultimately, although somebody had done something wrong to you, to leave the church that Christ founded, to leave the Eucharist, ultimately isn't good for you.
Correct.
That you belong. You belong in the church.
Right.
And the church is here for your good, even though the church is made up of sinful people like you and me. And I mean, I know I've not always been the most charitable person.
I agree.
If you catch me on a bad day, I mean, I know. I mean, there's people. There was a lady. This is last year, and it was after Mass, and I was talking to somebody, and she walked by, and I waved, and she waved back, but it the way it just went down. She kind of thought I was like, I didn't have time for her, and it was not that at all. But that was how it was perceived, that I did not have time for her. And I regret that. And it's not something I can't take that moment back. I mean, if I knew sort of the effect it was going to have, I would have made sort of a bigger effort. But I didn't know. It was a kind of a weird interaction.
There has to be that forgiveness of people, because I mean, like you're standing out in front and meeting 250 people a day on a Sunday, or 600 people. You're running into them, talking to them, and it's like
there's kind of a crush.
It's hard to be all things to all people at that moment, and you can't. Last time I checked, I don't read souls.
But also there's sinful people in the church. Sometimes we're not as charitable as we should be. Mm-hmm. But I think that's also the nature of going to church with other people.
Right.
I mean, I've been treated badly by people, but it's in one way it's the way of the world, and so you don't. I guess to say, come back, give us another chance. Okay, some people have their priorities out of whack. Can we say a word to them? Maybe they don't think they do, but
it's that there's been a trickle down. So they want their kids to, and some parents told me this one time. They said, "Well, we just can't make it to Sunday Mass because we have traveling soccer." And I said, "Oh, okay. So you just you go to the local parish in the town you're going to," and well, no, we have to get up early in the morning. I was like, well. So what happens, I think, is
so you go.
So they want their kids to travel and play soccer. So they do all this stuff, and then they just don't go to Sunday Mass while they're traveling. It's like, well, there is that awesome website, masstimes.org.
Yeah.
And you can find a local parish and make it a priority. Make it a priority in life to help your kid become a saint, to help yourself become a saint.
I think there's something to going and visiting other parishes. I mean, I love visiting other parishes, but I think I think a lot of times that can make a person or an individual. So out of some weakness, maybe bad priorities, maybe even something not of your own doing, some illness or something, you get away from the practice of your faith, and then you never come back.
Just out of habit.
And so what does somebody need to do? Okay, so here somebody's listening right now, and they haven't been to church in a year or 5 or 10. They're Catholic. They're baptized. They grew up in the faith. Maybe during their time in college, their priorities were elsewhere. What would they need to do to come to Mass this Sunday?
Wake up for one. Let's see. Set an alarm clock. Set an alarm
Priority
clock.
one. Look up the Mass times.
You can wake up at 8 a.m. and then you could probably find, I don't know, depending on what city you're in, you could probably find 4 or 5 Mass times and go and walk up to the priest.
Just go.
Just walk up to the priest and say, "Hi, I'm Billy Bob, and I haven't been to Mass since I was 18." Or, "Hi, I'm Jennifer, and let me just get a sophisticated accent. Hello, my name's Jennifer, and I haven't been to Mass since I was 18. Okay, so just go up there and introduce yourself to the priest and be like, I need your help.
I haven't been here.
Yeah.
So we would recommend that you go to Mass. Go to Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Before you go back to receiving Holy Communion, before you go back to the sacraments,
make a good cleaning out of your soul.
Make a good confession. So look up, in the same time you're looking up the Mass times, look up the confession times. If that doesn't work for you, every priest I know, there's this little line at the end of the confession times where it says, "or by appointment." Those are phone calls that we love to get. And that is, "Hey, Father Kerry, I'm a senior at OSU. We've never met.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, come back to practicing my faith before I graduate. I was wondering if I could meet with you."
Yes.
This week.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. We're going to find the time. They may, well, give us a couple times and we'll make that work. So come back, make a good confession, and come back to the sacraments.
It's awesome.
It's not that hard. I think people over sort of complicate. Oh, I'd have to go to confession. Going to confession is not that hard. It takes a little time. You got to schedule it, and you examine your conscience.
If you need a good examine, there's an app called the Confession app.
Yep.
Has an image of Divine Mercy on it.
Yep.
And you can select which one you want, and then when you hit submit, it sends a text message to the local priest to set an appointment.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just kidding.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So maybe
he just gets a list of sins and it says, it checks their calendar, makes an appointment automatically. That would be brilliant.
So people who have just been lukewarm in their faith or away for whatever reason, due to their own lack of priorities or maybe illness, something like that.
Okay, I got another one.
Yeah.
There's this line from, I don't know who it was. It says that people leave Catholicism for what they don't know it to be rather than they know it what it is to be.
Yeah,
so what I'd suggest, if you're listening to this, go back and listen to some of our episodes on the Eucharist, on baptism,
those look good.
on just pick up some of those sacraments, like what is Easter, what is the sacrament of confession. Listen to some of those. They're only 28 minutes. It's a run. It's a drive to work. Go back and listen to some of those, because I really think that people leave Catholicism for what they don't know it to be rather than what they think it is or know it is. Why do people leave? Maybe there's that lack of encounter with Jesus. And that happens.
Just never encountered the Lord.
Yeah, that happens. As a child, you meet the Lord little by little by little. And I think some people are like, I haven't had one of those big St. Paul moments where, Jesus knocks me on the ground. Okay, well, I don't want to be blind for a couple days. I'd rather Jesus gently walk me into a life of holiness rather than blind me with a bright light that incinerates my retinas. So there's something for people right there. And so if you're like, I was raised Catholic and I really don't know much about my Catholic faith and I want to come back, Father Mike Schmitz has these really cool videos. I sent one to a student the other day and she texted me and says, "Is Mary really without sin?" And in the back of my mind, I was like, So I sent I sent her Father Mike Schmidt's video on the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And as I said that to someone, they said, I thought Jesus was immaculately conceived. And I was like, oh no. So I sent them the video too. So there are great, incredible resources. There's the website Formed that has
Formed.org.
And when you go to your parish, when you're like, hey, I'm going to go back to Mass. Ooh, you go in, ask the pastor, like, hey, do you guys have a Formed account? And if they say no, then
we do at St. Francis
you
Xavier.
can call St. Francis Xavier.
And you don't even need a password anymore.
You
There's
don't?
no more, yeah.
It's free?
They've made it, well, you go in and you log in sort of under your parish.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But there's wonderful book. I mean, I think a great little book, we give it out a lot at the parish, is called Catholicism for Dummies.
Oh, yeah, that's a goodie.
It's a nice little book. And it's a nice introduction, even for those who are Catholic but maybe don't know their faith as well as they should. Catholic.com is a great website of we call it apologetics, sort of arguments for the faith. Why do we baptize infants? Was Mary really immaculately conceived? Some of those things that can be kind of stumbling blocks. Is the Eucharist really, is it really Jesus's body, blood, soul, and divinity? The answer is yes, but you can go look it up. So any of those things that might be sort of stumbling blocks in a person's faith that maybe have made them, go elsewhere. What if you're like married or dating? You're Catholic. You're married or dating someone who's not Catholic, and they've sort of like are kind of maybe pulling you in their direction.
Well, there's often times where, and this happens in college, like someone will come to Mass, they'll bring their friend to Mass, the person they're dating, they're engaged to, and they say, I really like loud music at church. And so that pulls people away. They want that rock concert experience.
We can turn up the organ.
Why not? We could play Inagata Davida for like 40 on the organ. But there is, I think people being pulled away. And at the heart of that is teaching your significant other, the person you're dating, your person you're getting married to, the beauty of your Catholic faith. And show it to them by taking them to Mass. And, I think sometimes we take people to Mass and they're like, it's our priests don't have sort of, pearl snap button shirts on, and like there's not a rock and roll band behind them. But what I find amongst college students is they find the liturgy beautiful. They're like, wow, there's something going on here that I don't really grasp. And so I want to learn more. So for those people who are dating, it's an opportunity for them to grow in knowledge of their faith and to teach their spouse.
Yeah, and don't be weak about it either. Okay, maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, your spouse is asking you questions about the faith that you don't know the answers to. The response to that is not to, I don't know, so let's just go wherever you want to go.
So I've had couples
see it as an opportunity, as a window.
I've had couples in marriage prep bring their spouses to RCIA, and they're like, "Well, I know everything. I went to Catholic schools. I know all my faith very well. I pray each day." No. And then what do? They brought their spouse to RCIA so that they could get this feel of the community and the faith.
All right, we got 1 minute left here, Father Kerry. What do you want to say to someone who is not Catholic, or who is Catholic but is not practicing their faith?
Welcome back. Come on.
Just come.
We're bringing it. We're bringing it back.
Just come.
Come back.
We know you're out there here in Stillwater. We know you're out there on the campus of OSU. Maybe you're listening to this and you're going and you're practicing your faith and you're loving the Lord. Maybe you could pass this on.
Excellent.
To somebody else. Just send them the link. We want to meet you. We want to hear your story. If it is something that maybe you're angry about or something, can we talk about it?
Amen, brother.
Let's talk about it. Let's sit down and dialogue, and we want you back in the church that Christ founded.
And Christ the King wants you back, the Lord and giver of life.
He loves you and walks by your side every day and wants to feed you with his body, blood, soul, and divinity. All right. You've wasted another perfectly good half hour. We're grateful for you listening, and we'll see you next week. God bless you.
God bless you.